What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a lovely day when you're watching this. Guys, listen, we are back talking actually again about cinemas, about theaters and everything like that. I recently just posted about the huge situation that's happening with WB and Netflix, that huge acquisition that's going on. And I know Paramount's also involved. They submitted a late bid to acquire this film rights and everything like that with that Warner Brothers owns and HBO Max. Everything going on there. It's a lot of tricky stuff going on business-wise, So we're just waiting to see what happens regarding that. But in today's video, I'm talking about good old-fashioned cinema, Ster-Kinekor, actually, one of the brands or one of the movie houses in South Africa. They are busy revamping, not revamping, but upgrading, I should say, many cinemas around South Africa. So in the malls where there are theaters and stuff like that, they are changing things up. They are implementing new things. They are upgrading the theater going experience, which is nice to see, man, because as someone that does go to cinema quite often, I go to see what new Marvel movies out, I get my friends together, we go watch the new Marvel movie, Avengers, Captain America, whatever's out at the time. And the experience so far has been okay. I think in terms of standards, it's all right. There's nothing crazy to talk about in terms of, oh, I just watched the movie and it's a life-changing experience. I would want to go again as soon as I can. It's more of okay, I did enjoy it. It wasn't bad and it wasn't good. But obviously, it all hinges sometimes on the film that you go watch. And a lot of people don't want to take that risk going out to the theater to spend so much money to go and watch a film that might be bad. So that's why they have to look for other ways to make the cinema experience very nice. The seating, what you can buy, the food and everything like that. But it comes down to the costs and affordability, because at the end of the day, cinema and the theater going experience nowadays, if you're trying to go by yourself, it might cost you anything between 150 to 200, 250 even sometimes. If you're trying to get meals and you're trying to get the ticket and you're trying to watch maybe different variations of how to watch, 3D, 2D, IMAX, everything like that, But yeah, we're going to be reading from paragraphs today, or basically I should say from an article today. We're going to be reading a paragraph, and I'm going to give you my thoughts basically afterwards on how it goes. How these videos usually go, where I read articles and things like that. But let me know your thoughts down below on cinema. When last have you been to the cinema anyway? And what do you guys think of how long cinemas will still be staying around, and whether you guys think these upgrades are good? Should they be looking through other avenues? What should they look to improve in general? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that down below. But without further ado, guys, let's jump into the article. Let's go read a few of the paragraphs there and go check out what they're saying regarding the upgrades. Let's get into it. Okay, so this article was released by My Broadband, and the heading for this one is Ster-Kinekor upgrades cinemas in top South African malls. And as always, guys, with these type of videos, I will link the articles and everything like that in descriptions. You guys can go check out yourself and go read up further, obviously, because I don't read the whole article. We would be way too long, to give all my thoughts on the article overall. But yeah, it will be in the description, guys, if you want to go check out. And always, like I say, feel free to do your own research. And if you do free research, you want to come back to the channel and let me know something, feel free to do that as well. Okay, guys, let's get into the article right here. It's saying Ster-Kinekor says that its investment in upgrades, renovations, and the introduction of new experiences at several cinema complexes is paying off for the country's largest film exhibitor. These include expanding its luxury cinemas and kids format, as well as launching an interactive space at The Zone in partnership with Josie X, featuring Nerf Wars and range rooms. Cinema is alive and well in South Africa, and we know that movie lovers still prefer watching the new release of a blockbuster title on the big screen, said Mark Sardi, and he is the Chief Executive Officer of Ster-Kinekor. We're firmly focused on the future and actively investing in our current cinema complexes to ensure that every visit to watch a movie at one of our theaters delivers a truly exceptional movie-going experience every time. So guys, I'm going to stop reading over there, guys. You can go check the full article in the description on the video. But listen, I was actually very surprised to read in this piece here that he's saying that it's actually that there are people, in the public, the general public, actually still prefer going to the movie theater, and people do still want to see movies on the big screen. I would actually love to throw up a poll, or to do an interview with the public and things like that about how many people, do go still see the movie theaters. I ask people often when I run into them, in the public and stuff like that, oh, when last have you gone to the theaters? And some people say, wow, it's been over a year, it's been over 2 years. But clearly, there are still some of the general public, that are still interested. There's a high interest of people wanting to watch movies at the theaters. Otherwise, there wouldn't be funds and funding and infrastructure being put in to make Ster-Kinekor theaters another big experience, because people still do go to the theaters. And I guess maybe it's just I was always under the impression, that it hasn't been the same since like pandemic or since streaming has taken over. But I think it's still big. But I feel like how big it can be and how affordable it is the question, you know? Can you go to the theater as often as you can now compared to like 20 years ago? Of course not. Certain things, so much things depend on it, like the quality of the films that are coming out these days, you know? Your overall experience. Do you still want to go out at the end of the day? Do you just want to stay home and stream all your movies, you know? Do you have an interest in going to watch films on the big screen versus having to wait for it when it comes out on streaming platforms? You know, at the end of the day, it's per person, but according to the article, you know, they say there's still a big general interest, which is interesting to hear. So I'm very curious to see how things will change over the years, how long cinemas are still going to be here, and things like that. But yeah, that's going to be all for today's video, guys, on this topic. You know, feel free to leave your own comments down below what you guys think about this. It's very interesting. You know, like I said, I'm a big movie guy and I'm a big theater guy, so it's cool to see that this is happening, and I'm hoping to go to a theater once like they have like the changes and everything. I can go get an experience and maybe I'll do a video on it, you know, in the future. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Take care. Love you all, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.